This is an Out of Bounds Sports presentation. Thank you for watching Out of Bounds Sports. All right, what's up, everybody? Thank you for joining the Out of Bounds Sports Show. This is the big dog, your host, and my co-host, the Vinci Dino Wright. He is remote tonight, so we're going to have Dino doing his thing from a remote area. You know what I'm saying? He's a businessman. He's head of our marketing department, so he's going to be moving around. But I'm in studio, and so we're getting ready to give you guys sports, the worldwide sports, from our perspective, from our point of view. And we know you're going to love it. We want to thank all our sponsors for making this opportunity, wonderful for us, giving us the opportunity to bring you guys sports on the level that it needs to be brought on for players and family, and just trying to touch every level, not being exclusive. And that's what we want to do. We want to provide everybody an opportunity here on the Out of Bounds Sports Show. So we'll talk a little bit more about the marketing and how you guys can advertise with us. Check out the ticker going across the bottom. So today, we're going to start our segment off with an NBA segment. It's a lot of things to talk about in the NBA. So I'm thinking that, Dino, you talked the other day about who you thought the best player in the NBA is right now. So why don't you give us your take on that, Dino?
The best player in the NBA right now, I see is Anthony Davis. He's become so dominant that you have guys just playing on the wings. Your two, your three men is trying to stop him on the wings. It's more like the Greek freak, with low post moves. Anthony Davis is like he should be in the race for the MVP, but we know it's James Harden at this time. So I'm taking I'm taking Anthony Davis as the best player right now at this juncture in the NBA, and he's carrying a team that's not that good, Just honestly speaking. But we already know that KD and LeBron, those guys are great. But I think at this juncture right now, it's Anthony Davis. So Anthony Davis is my pick for one of the best player in the NBA right now. Those guys are great, but I think at this juncture right now, it's Anthony Davis. So Anthony Davis.
Well, you know what? I kind of agree with you on the Anthony Davis situation, because Anthony Davis is doing some stuff that Will was doing back in the gap. So it's like, he putting up real major numbers at this point, where people don't understand, actually what he's doing, and they really can't relate to exactly what he's doing because they have never seen it in this lifetime. So, but I
Right.
still believe that, the best player in the game right now has to be LeBron James. LeBron James, you just can't take it away from LeBron James as long as he's in the NBA. It's just like when Michael Jordan was playing in the NBA. You know, every year you knew that Michael Jordan was the best player in the game, regardless if they had Clyde Drexler playing, regardless if Charles Barkley was having a good year, even regardless with guys like Isaiah Thomas, and they was on the back end of their career. You have to remember that LeBron James at this point, the physical stature, shooting ability, driving ability, getting to the rack. Nobody can stop him. So I still think he's the best player in the NBA right now, hands down, pound for pound, as they say in boxing. But, speaking of LeBron, LeBron has been in the news real tough about free agency. And there have been 4 teams that I know of, that LeBron has said that he would be interested in still, being a part of. He said he liked the Cavs. He said he would entertain the Rockets. He would entertain the Lakers and also the 76ers. So those are some very interesting teams that if you were to add a LeBron-like talent to, they could do something special. What do you think about that, Dino?
Well, I see it this way. With LeBron, LeBron has this team's better, but you have to remember there's people that he's surrounded by that makes a part of the team. Now at this juncture, if winding up in LA would be like a have all that new talent. They need somebody to come in and take them to the next level. And he's just not the person to do it for them because now you have to remember he's ball heavy. By him being ball heavy, you have a lot of young talent like Ingram and those guys that need the ball themselves. So doing that, him not a good factor. Him playing it with the Rockets, there's not enough money, not enough balls. You have Chris Paul and James. So that's a non-factor. His best bet, man. If you ask me, I think he should stay in Cleveland. I mean, if you ask me, because he's going to be seeking a max deal. He's not. He don't take pay cuts. He's not
Well,
taking pay cuts. So that's one thing you do have to think about. Who is he? He's LeBron James. He
okay.
won't take a pay cut.
I mean, you know what? I think you got a good point, but I'm looking at the young talent in Cleveland. Cleveland has the opportunity to do something special with the young talent in a few years. But LeBron James on the back end of his career right now. It's not like he is a young tender and he has 7, 8 more years where he can grow with these young guys that's going to be in the league the next couple of years. So even on top of that, let's talk about one of his teammates that just got moved, Derrick Rose.
Okay.
Now Derrick Rose is moving around a whole lot, and he's had this mental illness issue. He had the issue with his family. He disappeared on the team, for a couple, and they had to try to find him. It was all over the news. It was kind of crazy for Derrick Rose to do something like that. But it seems like he's starting to recover from his mental issues, and he just got traded. He just got traded to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, you know who's over at the Minnesota Timberwolves? Thibodeau. Thibodeau was his head coach over in Chicago, so he got reunited with his head coach. So what do you think about that, Dino?
Right. Thibodeau knows his game. They get wide open. Some players, because he was a system that built around his talent. So by him playing in inflation, he fits the system that they had. So Tim understand who is and watch him flourish. Watch him flourish on his team. Most people
Okay.
really don't understand that. I mean, you can score 50
Well,
points playing with one team. Next team, you can
and
score
with
10
that
points
said,
because it's simple.
I think he's gonna be all right over there. I think he's gonna be all right. Thibodeau's gonna
Right.
take him under his arm, and what I'm saying, and get his mind back on track for basketball because he already coached him before, so he knows what type of player he is. And so we got about a minute before we go to our first break. So Dino, let us know, man. What do you think about the playoff race coming out of the East and coming out of the West? You got a minute. You on the clock.
All right. Coming out of the East with the Toronto Raptors. The Toronto Raptors leading the East with 14 losses. Mind you, they beat Boston twice. They beat Cleveland twice, and they're supposed to be the two of the best teams in the East. So I'm taking Toronto coming out of the East, and I'm taking the Rockets coming out of the West. You got to look at the 15-game winning streak. 15-game winning streak, and most people said that they're peaked, but they're peaking because they're still climbing. They're still beating teams by 10 to 15 points. So I would like to see the Rockets and Toronto coming, but that's playing in the championship this year. Most people think I'm crazy, but pay attention. Pay attention. It
And
will
so,
happen.
and so, I'm right with you. I'm right with you. I just think that Golden State gonna still come out of the West. I don't think nobody can beat them. And then in the East, the Cavaliers still with LeBron James. They still the team to beat. So I don't care what nobody else say. At the end of the day, LeBron can take over a game like no other player in the NBA. And so we're getting ready to take this break. When we come back, we'll be talking about the local news in the area. It's the Metro Beat on the Out of Bounds Sports Show. We'll see you in a moment.
The most complete and unique style of training for athletes ages 7 to professional. If we're not training you, we could be training your opponent. Get at us to get more info. Put in work.
years of hair experience, a master with the hot comb and pressing and making the hair soft and beautiful and bouncy. You're just an email away from a wonderful experience at Horns Hair. Email us at jdastylist@gmail.com for your appointment today. The Big Dog will take care of you.
Shutterstock Music. Shutterstock Music.
Welcome to the Boardroom Whiskey and Cigar Lounge. Conveniently located at 1708 8th Avenue, Fort Worth, Texas, 76110. They provide an upscale atmosphere for the grown and distinguished. Mention the Out of Bounds Sports Show for cigar and drink specials. Contact the Boardroom Whiskey and Cigar Lounge at 817-945-2975.
Thank you for watching Out of Bounds Sports. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining the Out of Bounds Sports team on the Out of Bounds Sports Show. This is the Big Dog. And my co-host, the Vinci Dino Wright, he's remote. So we're getting ready for our second segment of the show. Our second of the show is going to start off with AAU basketball game that we got an opportunity to broadcast last night on the Out of Bounds Sports Network. So we're going to talk about that game. We're going to talk about some of the players that we saw in that game, and then we're going to play a little a video of the post-game interviews by both coaches, and then we're going to have your thoughts, Dino, on what do you think about what was said by both coaches and whatever the opportunity for them to play again. Let's hear from the opposing coach first and see what he had to say about the game on yesterday. Or we're going to see what Coach Will had to say first. Let's find out what Coach Will had to say.
We're on Out of Bounds Sports Show with the Big Dog. We got the head coach for the U here, Coach Will. Coach Will, you guys had a tough shooting night tonight. We kind of know you guys played much better than that. And for Sean, we don't know if it was tight or it was these guys were a little bit more aggressive than you guys. Tell us what was going on in your head when you see you guys struggling tonight, and what did you try to do to get you guys back on track?
Like I said, it was a little bit, they was anxious, a little bit nervous. Some of the South, a lot of our Souths wasn't fouling the way we wanted to foul, but I mean, they had to hustle us tonight, I get it to the other team. They play a little bit better about it. We wasn't boxing out, getting on the rebounds. So I mean, we got to do better than that on that.
The guys seemed like they was confident when they came in tonight, and they played at a confident level. Would you like to see your guys get another shot at these guys? And you think that you're going to be a little bit more successful than you were tonight?
Yeah, I do. Mark my words, you heard it now. June 16th, we'll see him again. But even then, if not, I want to see him again. I promise you, it'll be a different outcome.
All right, Coach, thank you for your time. You're on Out of Bounds Sports Show with the Big Dog. It's Coach Will.
So Dino, what do you think about, saying what Coach Wood had to say about his team and how they performed on last night in the loss to the Fam Life 13U AAU team organization?
Well, first thing first, they came out a bit flat. When I say flat, if you have guys, the kids, they were like really excited to be playing in front of their moms, their dads, and they were a bit nervous. So being nervous, man, it was more like they were shell shocked. It was like deer in headlights. But what hurt them was not being able to get the ball across half court, the turnovers, and missing easy buckets. So that's my take on what happened last night. It was overall, it was a really good game, and the kids were competitive. And one thing I love about watching kids play is, they're at their naturalist form. It's really
Okay.
pure because they have the bad habit, watching TV and stuff like that, and they're playing to the best of their ability. But
Right.
last night, you got caught. They got
I,
caught slipping, and Fam Life, they did their thing.
well, so Coach claims, and Coach Will, we're going to have him on the call a little later. Coach Will for the U claims that the guys that they were playing against were not of age. So, they've had a lot of issues in AAU talking about, kids playing out of their age bracket. And so we'll have Coach talk about that a little later. But let's hear what the coach from Fam Life had to say about the game and his thoughts about them playing in an actual rematch. Let's hear what Coach had to say.
This is an Out of Bounds Sports presentation.
Coach, we're here live with the Fam Life head coach. Coach, you had a great win.
Yes, we did.
It seemed like you guys absolutely destroyed these guys. Tell me what was your game plan?
I told you
Coach?
by 20. I promise you that.
What was your game plan, Coach, that you came out with, and how were you so successful against these guys?
Well, first of all, this game, I ain't never been a part of a rival that we ain't played yet, but there's been a lot of stuff going on before this game. So these kids go to school together, they know each other, so we know what they kids can and cannot do. So from the jump of the game, we wasn't letting them have nothing. We were just suffocating them. We got players, they know they can't go right, we was taking their right away. Got players that can't go left, we was taking their way. We was out rebounding them. I mean, we were just, for 2 years we've been waiting on these teams. This team, what they've been asking for 2 years.
Told you by 20.
And it just so happened, we said, okay, and it was no contest, man. But they got a good team though, but they just not on that level.
So, Coach, what do you think your team ranks in the 13U ranking for the state of Texas at this point? Because you guys put on a dominating performance, and we don't know much about your team. So if you want to give us a little stats about your team, let us know where you stand.
Well, if you want to know what number one is, you look at it today. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? We number one, and we're going to prove that when we go to the state, though. We the number one team, man. I don't know where they ranked at, but I know we number one.
Well, you're on the Out of Bounds Sports Show, and we number one.
That's right.
Coach,
Shout out to Out of Bounds Sports.
Won by 28. I told you it's going to be 20. I promise y'all that.
All right, Dino. So, hearing what Coach had to say after the game and sitting there watching the game and broadcasting the game, you got 30 seconds, man. Comment on what's going on, and then we got to get to the next segment. But tell us what your thoughts was about that game.
I really like the way that Fam Life came out in the second half and put on a full court press. Majority of the kids that played, well, we'll just say the guards that played the first two spots in the 2-2-1-2 that they came out in, put a lot of pressure on the ball. And they played they played very aggressive, which made it sort of fun. And number 0 for Fam Life will be a player, trust me. He can handle the ball, and he plays great offense, and he played great on defense. I think he had 4 or 5 blocks in the first half, just by him playing, being aggressive and scrappy.
My bad, excuse me. I ain't mean to cut y'all, So,
No.
so the coach is saying that they love the rematch. He don't think it's gonna be the same outcome, but we'll be there. we'll be there for the next rematch, and we'll get a chance to talk about it on the Out of Bounds Sports Show. So let's talk real quickly before we leave. There's been stories in the media talking about the allegations of Mark Cuban from 2011, the sexual assault allegations, and basically, they said that Mark Cuban was in Portland, Oregon, and went to a club, and he groped a young lady or woman with accusations down her pants. Now, I don't know Mark Cuban personally, and I've seen the type of person he is and his character, and I don't know if he would do something like that in public, with his stature in society. It sounds like some, false allegations, and also the news reported that the young lady who made the allegation did not want to press charges at that time. So why the NBA bringing that back up, maybe in the wake of his controversial words, and now they're trying to dig into his life? What do you think about that, Dino?
The sad part about that, I'm in the middle of TGI Fridays in Plano on Preston. So you got to excuse me, guys. I'm eating and I'm enjoying, the atmosphere. I think that, with this whole Mark Cuban deal, I believe that it all starts with innuendos. If you say, hey, that's a sexy dress, yada, 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 you get away with it, then it builds from there. Now, she didn't want to press charges because she know Mark has money. That's just me. I can be wrong. But, dealing with these sexual allegations, everybody has been through something, men and women. But since this whole, sexual thing that's been coming out, started with Bill Cosby and it's blossomed everywhere, I can say that nobody, I don't care, nobody is exempt from what's going on. Even if you had a premarital affair, even if you did something on the side, or touched somebody in the office. It's sad, man, and the NBA was going to find anything that they can find on Mark Cuban because he put the target on his own back.
That's right. That's right. So we're getting ready to go to break. We're going to get your thoughts when we come back on the next segment. We're going to talk a little bit about the NCAA and their $1 billion revenue that they don't want to share with the players when we come back on the Out of Bounds Sports Show. This is the Big Dog and Dino.
Dino.
Music. Shutterstock Music.
The most complete and unique style of training for athletes ages 7 to professional. If we're not training you, we could be training your opponent. Get at us to get more info. Put in work.
With over 15 years of hair experience, a master with the hot comb and pressing and making the hair soft and beautiful and bouncy. You're just an email away from a wonderful experience at Horns Hair. Email us at jdastylist@gmail.com for your appointment today. The Big Dog will take care of you. Welcome to the Boardroom Whiskey and Cigar Lounge. Conveniently located at 1708 8th Avenue, Fort Worth, Texas, 76110. They provide an upscale atmosphere for the grown and distinguished. Mention the the Out of Bounds Sports Show for cigar and drink specials. Contact the Boardroom Whiskey and Cigar Lounge at 817-945-2975.
Thank you for watching Out of Bounds Sports. All right, everybody, we back on Out of Bounds Sports Show. This is your host, the Big Dog.
Dino.
And my co-host, Dino, he's remote right now. So we're doing the show digitally. Thank you for all our sponsors, everybody that has supported us in our journey to provide a sports network for the average consumer. Here at the Out of Bounds Sports Show, our job is to give exposure and give you guys sports from our own perspective, point of view. Both me and Dino, my co-host, play professional sports, so we do have a different perspective as a player. Dino played football and basketball, and I did also. Both of us are two-sport athletes, and we have been thoroughly immersed in the sports world for over 30 years. So, and in those 30 years, we got a chance to watch college basketball evolve from, the Fab Five all the way up to the Kentucky run, and and Duke's, Mike Krzyzewski's, and all the championships that they have together. But what I don't understand, and this is what our next topic is going to be about, Dino, what I don't understand about the NCAA is why they don't want to pay these players a part of the revenue that's being made at these schools. I want you to hear these numbers, Dino. Listen at these numbers that came about the $1 billion that was made by the NCAA last year. $128 million was generated in championships, in the tournament, and the NIT tournaments. That's including ticketing, parking, concessions, merchandise, and all the other non-TV things and marketing dollars that are being made towards those two tournaments. $128 million. $47 million on the net investment income. $26 million in gains and others, just based on reading the NCAA statement. This appears to be mostly from the sale of Arbiter Sports. If you're not familiar with Arbiter Sports, it's a sports marketing company that handles everything from people that are running the clock and then referees. Also, me being a referee, we work through Arbiter Sports a lot of times. It had $19 million in sales and services, $6 million in contributions, $2,000 in contributions and other, and that's not even all of the money. $103 million of revenue was spent on so many other different things, and they said that it trickles down eventually to the other schools. But let's take a break real quick. We got Coach Will calling in. Coach Will calling in from you. We want to hear what he has to say about what happened with his organization. What's up, Coach? How you doing? You on Out of Bounds Sports Show?
Hey, what's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
All right.
You on the show?
Yeah, you on the show right now. My partner Dino, he's remote, but he's on the show right now. We're on the YouTube, and of course we'll be on Facebook a little later. But Coach, so we just got to watching your interview, and we had a segment earlier about your information from the team that you talked about. So give us a little insight on your matchup from last night and some of the things that we talked about earlier.
Last night, man. First and foremost, man, I'm never gonna fast mouth nobody. You know what I'm saying? Big shouts out to the fam like they played last night. We just got to show up and do what we got to do. But first thing first, let's understand, if we as men trying to have an organization or concept coaches, we have to stand up and teach these kids how to lose and how to win with sportsmanship. There's a lot of things that was being said behind the scenes where people couldn't hear and everything like that. It's on us to stand up and be men and teach these kids that.
Well, I believe that you right on track, Coach. We didn't get a chance to see all the behind the scenes things that was going on yesterday because we were broadcasting the game. But, we don't want to be real messy. But give us a little insight, Coach, on the guys that you guys were playing against and why it seemed like that they was much more successful on the court than you guys were yesterday. Was it big? Were they bigger and faster, or what do you think was going on?
First, not everyone that they were bigger and faster, but you got to look at this. A lot of things do play into play. I have one kid that's on my team that just turned 14 at September 30th. But the rule states after September the 1st, if you're still 13, you have to play with 13. So you went and got 7 to 8 kids that's 14, just like I got one kid that's 14, which is fine. I still play because my kids still need that experience, to play up. And, it didn't matter. But don't make it like y'all the number 1 team in the state of Texas, because if you really want to be honest, line up with a true 14U team, and I guarantee you're going to get some different results.
Well, we hope to see them get a chance to play guys on their level. And, Coach, we thank you for your time. Thank you for calling in to the Out of Bounds Sports Show. We'll be definitely there to stream you guys and broadcast you guys' next matchup. When is that going to be, Coach? Do you know?
Our next tournament season kicks off March 31st. We'll be in Irving. Just to get the season started, man. We hope to try to get a championship out of this season, man. Just play hard.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Coach, for calling into the show. We'll talk to you later on.
We'll be there.
All right,
all right, peace. So, Dino, what are your thoughts on what Coach had to say? And you got a minute on the clock before we go to break.
All right. One thing about that, when you want to win so bad, you cheat to win. That stuff plays out in the latter part of the season. Now, mind you, they found out that he had a 14-year-old that just turned 14. Now you go out and get 4 to 5 14 years old because you want to win. You're not teaching your kids anything, man. It's called integrity. If you have no integrity, how can you teach a kid to have integrity? And last night, the show of how this one kid was fouled on the baseline, how the parents jumped off the bench. This is not Pop Warner football. Basketball, to me, is a beautiful thing, and it's not a renegade sport. But you have people that make these things renegade, and it just took the fun out of the first half, and this happened in the first half. What's your thoughts about it?
All right, so we're getting ready to go to the commercial break. Dino, thank you for your thoughts on that. I really think that some guys, you just got to chalk it up. Everybody kind of bends the rule every now and then. We don't know if fam like bend the rule. Maybe we'll have them on the show for they can give us their rebuttal on what Coach had to say about, the basketball team and what they're doing and what they're bringing to the actual, the actual table. Because I think you still got to lace them up. No matter what happens, no matter, who's playing, who's not playing, who's doing what, at the end of the day, you still got to put them shoes on, get out there and hoop. Right. Can't keep making excuses, about guys being older and younger. Because I came from a generation where, you had to play with the older guys to even get on the court, man, because you would get drugged.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So, I don't know if the age thing is such a big thing. They make a lot of excuses for these young guys nowadays. But, we're going to go to commercial break. You're on the Out of Bounds Sports Show with the big dog.
Dino.
And we'll holler at you in a moment.
Shutterstock Music. Shutterstock Music.
With over 15 years of hair experience, a master with the hot comb and pressing and making the hair soft and beautiful and bouncy. You're just an email away from a wonderful experience at Horns Hair. Email us at jdastylist@gmail.com for your appointment today. The big dog will take care of you. Welcome to the Boardroom Whiskey and Cigar Lounge. Conveniently located at 1708 8th Avenue, Fort Worth, Texas, 76110. They provide an upscale atmosphere for the grown and distinguished. Mention the Out of Bounds Sports Show for cigar and drink specials. Contact the Boardroom Whiskey and Cigar Lounge at 817-945-2975.
The most complete and unique style of training for athletes ages 7 to professional. If we're not training you, we could be training your opponent. Get at us to get more info. Put in work.
Thank you for watching Out of Bounds Sports. All right, everybody, we back on the Out of Bounds Sports Show. This is your host, the Big Dog.
This is Dino.
All right, so for our last segments, we're gonna have our thoughts of the day. We usually at the end of the segments we try to give some knowledge, some thoughts to what's going on in the area, in our life, try to give some encouraging words. And so this is the time that we're going to give, each one of us going to have 2 minutes to talk and give our final thought of the day. So Dino, we're going to have you, give your final thought of the day. You got 2 minutes on the clock. Go.
Got you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the key word today is integrity. You know, dealing with sports, you have these coaches that want to win, and at the end of the day, the W is what that boils down to. Now think about being on a team that you busted your behind for, and work with every day. You go to practice, and then you have coaches bring new guys in, know nothing about the plays, never practice with you, but they're looking for a win. Okay, how would you feel? How would you feel if somebody gave you an opportunity and took the opportunity away because they thought they had someone that was better? So I make this challenge to you. If you're a coach, if you're a trainer, or even a parent, always instill in your kids integrity. Allow them to grow. They're going to make mistakes because that's what life is. As adults, we make mistakes. But teach them integrity. Teach them to be able to stand behind who they are and what they believe in. So that's my thought of the day. And it's so important that, having integrity and doing things the right way the first time makes it so easy for you to be able to accomplish, goals and things that you have in life. And I'll talk to you guys soon. I love you guys. Peace out. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you, Dino, for that moment. Giving it to us raw and uncut. And so I'm going to give my 2 minutes, my thought for the day. My thought for the day has everything to do with building revenue. The NCAA, in my opinion, is handling this revenue stream of money incorrectly. If the players have to play the tournament, and your tournament, your national tournament, is the largest tournament in the nation, basically in the world, and it's generating millions and millions of dollars for 64 teams that carry about 12 guys, maybe 15 at the most. You can't tell me that you're not able to compensate these guys for putting on one of the greatest shows that anybody has ever seen. They do it on a consistent basis every single year. Guys are making their careers. The tournament is getting bigger and bigger. It's touching more and more parts of the world, and even us here on the Out of Bounds Sports Show is talking about it. I'm a father of an athlete that plays in a college, and I just don't believe that these guys have all the talent and can get paid before they get to school. A lot of guys miss out on the opportunity to make a living for themselves because they don't finish college or they don't go along all the way through with an athletic program, and because they didn't get any compensation even though they helped that team get wins or maybe even win a championship in their conference or in the national tournament, they're not getting compensated at all. So they have nothing to walk away with but just some memories of what they did. And I know plenty of players that gave an exceptional effort in college that are not financially well off right now. So with that said, we want to thank all of our sponsors. We want to thank everybody on the website. We want to thank everybody that comes to all of the shows. When you come in and we're broadcasting, we thank you for coming up, talking to the table. We're very user-friendly. We're very accessible. If you want to advertise with the Out of Bounds Sports Team or Out of Bounds on the Out of Bounds Sports Show, email us at outofboundsports@gmail.com for more information on advertising prices. If you want us to host your event or do a full live broadcast on your event, the broadcast is live here on the Out of Bounds Sports Show on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all of the social media networks. Make sure you email us. The email is on the bottom. You can check it on the bottom. We're going to do this every Monday and Thursday at 7 p.m. right here on the Out of Bounds Sports Network. Dino, do you have some last words before we go?
Hey, I want to send a special shout out to my former point guard, which is like my brother, Keenan Cage. Man, I really appreciate you partnering with us, man, sponsoring, your commercials and your training, man. It's just, I don't know what else to say, man. I really appreciate you. And for everybody that's chimed in, that has called, we're anticipating the MMA. The MMA wants us to come out and do some stuff. We're just waiting to get some dates. And guys, we're going to cover everything, even girls volleyball. So when you guys are ready, give us a call. We'll be there to get you where you need to be. Thanks a lot.
All right, so that's it. We'll see you guys. We want to thank everybody for joining in. We had a great time. We're going to do it again on Monday at 7 p.m. The motto is, don't run out of time. Get
out of bounds.
Out of bounds.
Peace out, man.
Watching Out of Bounds Sports.
Thank you for watching the Out of Bounds Sports Show. This broadcast is brought to you by The Boardroom, JCK Fitness, Street Creds, JZ.Fitness, Making the World Famous for Life, and BWZ Sports. Visit outofboundsports.com for more information on how you can be on the show.
This is an Out of Bounds Sports presentation.
This copyrighted broadcast of the Out of Bounds Sports Network may not be rebroadcast, reproduced, or used in any other form without the express written consent of OOB.